And that was the religion part that I had to snap out of. And then with that, I learned that a lot of these things that I thought were true really were just opinion. There wasn't an absolute truth to it at all. And with that also came this understanding that good and evil looked a lot different than what I thought before. In other words, those lines have been blurred. Good and bad, evil, good, whatever it may be. Some of this stuff is based off of perception and just lack of understanding, and it actually has nothing to do with truth at all. And that is my journey now, is finding absolute truths and keeping my mouth shut when it's not. I can share what's on my heart, I can share an opinion, but I'm really trying to avoid delivering it as if it's true, unless if I know it's an absolute truth.
Truth is such a subjective word.
It
really is. And there's a couple of things about what you said. One is that the other side of truth telling, which is equally important, is truth receiving.
Ooh.
And I'm not interested in just being a self-masturbatory, I'm just going to spew my truth That's not the whole picture. How able am I? How capable am I to receive your truth when it differs from mine? And can I be open to a different perspective? Can I be open to holding you and honoring you in your truth, even if I can't find agreement? And so this is part of the art of truth telling and truth receiving, is what happens when we have two really different truths. And in the world we live in, we have a lot of really different truths. And so how do we be with those differences and still do life together? And that's something that I don't yet have the answer for. I'm on the ground daily, on the field, in the laboratory with this one. And I've seen some progress in how to work with this, but ultimately there's still, when truths become absolutes, we're in danger. And that's what you were speaking to and we see this a lot in religion. Religion is probably the biggest place where we see truths becoming absolutes. When I talk about truth, I talk about my experience. I'm not talking about a belief. And a belief is different. A truth is my experience in the world. And that isn't absolute. Your experience is not mine. And so my truth is not necessarily your truth. But can I be truthful about what's happening for me? Can I be truthful about what I see? If there's something that I'm like, I'm gonna be the truth teller and call this thing out. But there's a humility in truth telling. There really is a deep humility in, can I sit with the discomfort that your truth brings up in me and not hate you for it, and not judge you for it, and not create separation? And that's one that I need to practice that one every day, because there are plenty of opportunities in the world to receive truths that literally grate at my system.
Yeah, and it's so wise. And like I don't like agendas so much. If it's a well-financed agenda trying to push something down our throats, like I have issue with that. But as far as people that are just walking out their truth on their own, trying to figure out who they are, their identity, is this true for me? Is it not? Okay. Like, I respect that process a lot. I don't respect the masses all gravitating one direction, because I don't believe that in the end, all of those people can actually really agree. They're just following the herd. I don't respect sheepism, but I do respect people standing in their truth and trying to discover what's right for them, because that process of discovering our identity can be one of the most challenging tests that we have in our life. Because when we grow up, we're told to be a certain way, like our parents, and I can't speak for you, and I'm not going to speak for everyone out there, but for the most part, our parents have been given this role of their job is to raise us and help us make sure that we're safe, and they provide and keep a roof over our head and feed us and so on. But the other part that typically happens with that is they start installing their beliefs in the children. They start saying, this is what you're going to be. You're going to go to medical school and be a doctor, but inside you're going, I want to be a talk show host. What do you mean a doctor? Or want to be sales? And that part happens. And so with that, and that's just it's a weak example, But that's where it really starts, where we lose sight of our identity, when we start doing things that maybe we don't feel right about, but because our authority above us, our parents, grandparents, whoever it may be, is ushering that way and saying, this is what you should do. And that in itself can cause a lot of issues growing up. So I have a lot of respect, again, for that path of finding your truth. What, in your opinion, for people that don't know their purpose and they don't really know what they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to do, in your opinion, what's the right way to go about taking that first step towards discovering your purpose and what it is that you were created to do?
Yeah, it's such a beautiful question. And I actually feel even like a little bit of emotion when you ask that, because I just empathize so much with the not knowing and the pain that brings. And to not understand that one has a value or what that value might be like. I'll first answer that by saying, I don't know what the magic answer is to that, but I can share my experience and the experience of my clients. And what I see time and time again in my own journey has been to just do more of what I already love. What am I already doing? What brings me joy? Where am I inspired? And the other really big piece of this, and a lot of people do not have this, and I really get that too, and it's not like there's just a decision that this happens overnight. This is all part of the journey of truth telling, and what I support people in is to find communities and friends that reflect your greatness and reflect your gifts and reflect your talents and reflect your beauty and your power. Because it's hard enough oftentimes to own our worth, but to not have that reflected ever from anyone, and oftentimes it's the opposite that's reflected, what people don't like, is really challenging. And I will say that I knew sort of it. I didn't know for a long time actually what my purpose was, but once I started seeing the impact of my work, the impact of my art, the impact of my shows, I kind of like, all right, the evidence is reflecting something. But I really needed the people in my life to tell me, Isabella, we're not standing for you to not do the thing because you're full of shit and you need to do the thing.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to have communities like that, but we really need people in our lives who see and celebrate and honor our gifts. And if you don't have that and you're watching this or you're listening to this, with all my heart, let's have a conversation about how do we create a life where that is one of the main factors, because we are living things, and just like plants, they need nutrients to survive and thrive. They need water and sunshine and fertile soil, and we're the exact same way. If we don't have fertile soil in our thoughts, in our environment, and our environment is our nutrients, our environment and our people and our workplace are the things that either have us grow or have us die and wilt. We need to plant ourselves in fertile soil. And I know that's not an overnight thing, but if you know you're not in fertile soil, then let's get in a conversation around how to get there, because it literally is the difference between life and death internally and emotionally.
Nailed it.